Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. All right. Welcome to the first of our monthly Game Credits AMAs. Before we kick off what we want to go through with this first AMA, I just want to give you a little bit about what this one's going to be about. We're just going to go through a deck. It's a presentation that we actually used initially at Decentraland at their convention. And go over the various platforms that we're working on. We can discuss the stages we're in, what the priorities are there, and when stuff will start to launch, just the specifics about those platforms and what we plan to release. And a little bit about myself before we jump in. I'm working on the project as a designer on the platform, a producer or a project manager as well. I'm a COO on the project, but I've been here for a while, since the early days of Nova Token, before that merged into Game Credits. We can discuss that as well. But anyways, we'll go through this deck and we will open it up for any questions at the end. I know we'll get a lot of questions from an investment perspective, but really I want to try to keep this about the product itself. But again, this is an AMA. Ask me anything. I'll try and answer everything I possibly can. Without further ado, let's jump into this. Here we go. All right. So, as I said, and hello, Raph. This is the first of our AMAs. We'll actually be doing more than just this monthly. This Twitch channel will serve for other announcements. You may have some other people coming in here and streaming and discussing various things. My focus again is on the platform itself and how we can serve players, developers, personalities. We have a lot of different stuff going on. So let's roll into this, shall we? So just to go back before we discuss what it is now, as many of you know, or maybe some of you don't know, Game Credits was actually the first game-based cryptocurrency mint with a genesis back in 2014. It was just a fungible token, and that project has been still around, going through some ups and downs, of course, like many projects can, but still just with a great philosophy of wanting to have, at the time, wanting to become a cryptocurrency for games, and specifically with esports. We all know esports just continues to grow year over year. And so side by side with that, totally separately, we had another project that was not focusing so much on getting a coin out there and being a part of the hype of, just kind of the craze that was going on with cryptocurrencies, but about actually developing a product that utilizes the blockchain and takes advantage of all of what it has to offer, specifically with games. I mean, we were all just excited about various types of games, both physical and video, and it just dawned on, like most of us, that what blockchain does is it kind of brings these elements of physical into the digital space, one of which is, ownership. And so creating a game where the players themselves own the cards, they can buy and sell those cards on an aftermarket, kind of like what was going on with the Magic the Gathering Online stuff, back in the day. And one of our CTO, he was an early developer and a big part of that, actually, Magic the Gathering Online, Paul Barkley. So this set out it was one game with these features, and it just became apparent that the real way to go was to not just make this for the one game, but to bring that to the space and to develop a platform that provided a lot of what we're about to go over, not just to ourselves, to the game itself, but to anybody who wanted to use it and have something that was more robust. And so that led us down a whole different path. And we're happy to say quickly that we're really happy to have that game back under the fold with us. We have some cool stuff that we want to do there as well. It'll be one of our flagship products. We want to integrate the platform into that, which is Nova Blitz. And that, we can have questions about that as well at the end. But anyways, we had this platform we were working on that the philosophy was really about what we can do to make it simple, hence the tagline up you see up here, to onboard people who were in the game space and developers who didn't know anything about blockchain, who didn't know how to develop on Solidity, and but could use a platform such as this, and eventually we'll have SDKs, but we can still, without those SDKs early on, as we start to release these features, we can work with developers still to implement and use a huge suite that these guys have been working on. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm not a developer, but I see what they're doing, and it's a ton of work. It's a lot. These guys have been working hard. We've got a lot of them, and they have a huge suite of smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain. So, and then a huge suite of RESTful APIs that basically call out and use that, and various other things that we have going on there. So yeah, it was simplicity, making it so that people who didn't know how to use blockchain could take advantage of the features of blockchain and create, and basically, what a lot of us in the industry know is NFTs, non-fungible tokens. And for those that don't know what that is, I can go into that as well. But yeah, just the idea of having something simple without blockchain knowledge, something that needed to be powerful. So obviously people know, we've got right now there's congestion on the Ethereum network, and things are a little more expensive and a little slower. And so, scaling's a big thing that a lot of people are working on. And, we fully believe in the Ethereum network. We're excited about the coming of 2.0. But even with that, especially I think with video games, when you have the number of transactions you're going to need, when you have just tons of games, and then those games have tons of users, and you have just lots of stuff, lots of transactions going on, even with a very highly scaled new network, having a specialized sidechain for those game systems, like what we're creating, we think is still very important, and is going to be necessary. So, and then security is just, obviously the security that blockchain provides, being cryptographic, and there's a lot of tech stuff we won't get into there, but that's our overall vision of what we brought with Nova Token and merged with Game Credits to bring this all together with different teams of people from different sides to bring that vision to life. So, let's see if you can make this so you guys can see that. There we go. So as I already mentioned, first gaming crypto 2014, that was Game Credits itself, and it secured on the Ethereum network. What I haven't mentioned yet is how we're going to deal with that scalability is to work on a side chain. And we actually will have more than one. I'll say now, I don't think we've said anything about it, but initially we're also going to be working with Matic to bring some of these early NFTs to market as well. So there's some different use cases with both, different reasons why, and stuff's still up in the air. Nothing's like 100%, but at the very end of the day, we have to go with what is available now, working for what we need now, and then as things continue into the future, we're going to reassess things and make moves as needed. So it's all about doing the best that we can for the platform and making it work for everybody as best as it can. And then being a full esports platform, a set of tools for gamers, champions, and developers, that's just going to be the specifics of what the platform is. And so creating NFTs, delivering those NFTs, whether it's selling them, rewarding them, redeeming what we call loyalty points that I can go into in more detail. And then once those are then in the hands of the players, those going out and onto an aftermarket, then being able to be used in a tournament system and, putting things up for prizes. I mean, it could be game that's up for a prize. It could be cards themselves that are up for a prize. It could be packs of cards. It could be, I mean, if you just envision what it was like, if for any of you who are experienced in the Magic, not necessarily even the Pro Tour, but just going to Magic tournaments, and you go and you pay your entry fee, and then you're competing with everybody, and then you get your packs at the end of the day. I mean, that's something a lot of us were involved in as well, and that we love, and we want to bring that same excitement of collectability and rarity and player ownership into the digital space with blockchain. So that's what we're doing here with this. So I'll go over the rewards portal right now. Rewards portal. Many of you know this. It's on the website right now, and this part of the platform has been running for a long time. We had this up with Nova Token, and this was basically an early way of additional supply was entering into the market, and rewarding people for sticking around and supporting these the developers who were kind of on early. And really, at this stage, it's just about awareness. So partially a marketing tool. There's obviously, as many of you maybe have realized, a DeFi element to it, which DeFi is a big hot thing right now. But yield farming is another big term out there that you guys can look into. But it's basically like a proof of stake network, and you're staking your tokens, and then the developers or personalities, which I'll go into what I mean by that in a bit, are going to earn some rewards each week. So we're going to enter some new game into the supply chain, into the supply every week. Right now it's 100,000. That will not be forever. That there at some point in over a year from now, there will be a halving. It may not be exactly half. It could just be minus 25% or something like that. But the amount of game credits entering into will slowly go down and less over time, and that's just so that this portal is working. But the real intent is for that delivery to be in NFTs, so that you're yield farming for NFTs, not just more game. While game does have its utility here, voting on the platform, supporting developers, using it in aftermarkets, using it to buy other cards, buy and sell cards, using it as for those fees will get a cut of that will go back to developers. Our real focus is beyond just game, and the ability for this platform to create more than just game, but actual non-fungible tokens, which are all these cards and things that are unique, that have a value as well, because people can collect them and own them, and not just as a collectible, but to eventually use inside of a game, whether you're collecting a sword or wizard's cap or a football from it could be anything, artwork. We're going to be doing a lot with these, and so that rewards portal is long term. The actual utility is to reward these developers, are rewarding their fans' loyalty to their product. They get something called a loyalty point, which is a very specific token that only works with that game or personality, whoever's up there, and to purchase some of their NFTs. And so they may have an NFT that's selling, for dollars or for fiat, euros, whatever it is, also sells for game, but also sells for loyalty points. And so then there'll be different ratios of like what it costs and why and that sort of a thing. But the loyalty points are another way of just rewarding players for their loyalty and support, and following along with the game. And it's just another interesting way to release stuff into the ecosystem, but it also incentivizes these developers. If they want to have these supporters, they need to create a product that is of value to them, which means they need to have a quality game. They need to have quality NFTs that they're delivering, things that their supporters are interested in. So it's going to be on them to find out what you guys want and and then to deliver that, and then those who deliver that are going to be the winners. We're going to have leaderboards and everything for this kind of stuff. We're going to gamify this rewards portal, and make it so that there's a reason for you to support them. So even though right now you're not getting your NFTs, you can still support the ones that you really like, because at some point in the future, they still have access to everybody who's supporting this stuff now, to all the wallets that are supporting everything now. There'll be contests that are being run and all of that, but they may support their early loyal fans. So that's a good reason to stake right now, beyond just getting some additional game every week. All right, and we have no questions on that now. You guys can feel free to ask questions during this if you want to. We don't have to save it for the end, just so that we can kind of stay in the mindset of whatever we're discussing on the slide. But for now, yeah, if there's no questions, I'll go ahead and move on. So something that we mentioned at DCL and haven't really mentioned much since, but we're letting you guys know today, is one of the things we are focusing on with Game is personalities beyond just games, but various types of personalities. And so one of which will be some esports streamers that we're going to be working with. And what that means is these streamers will, who support us, we're gonna have they're gonna have their own page, and they're gonna be able to create these NFTs as collectibles initially, and share them or sell them to their fans. And so those fans will come over, they'll see that, they'll get some support, and they can basically use our system, even though they're not a game themselves. They can use our system for their own personality and sell that rather than the game. So, but that'll give other exposure to the games they're playing. People can go check those out. And eventually we'll see where that grows. But we just feel like this could be an interesting thing for people who are in the space, who like esports, like video games, and maybe who don't know about blockchain, to easily onboard them to this. Because at some point, one of the things that the system makes simple is, being on a sidechain, we will be able to onboard people who know nothing about blockchain, won't need to go buy Ethereum, and can just jump in, play their games with these people, or buy these NFTs with dollars, and have that delivered to a wallet that can be then seen and viewed and without having to go through the process necessarily of going to an exchange. Now, that's further down the line. To be honest, right now, early on, it's going to be people will have to go to the exchange if they want to get game. But right now, the NFTs will be able to be delivered. People will be able to buy them in various different ways, whether that be with game or cash or whatever. So, anyways, we're excited to be working with these guys. We're going to be using our own Twitch channel here to play all the time. Me and a few other guys we have here. You have Chris is online. Keith, Marcel, you may see. We are going to, I know we've been promising it now for a couple months, but we're going to start holding some tournaments and games, and we want to connect with you guys and get you guys to come on board as well and join us here, and just start playing some stuff together. And so we'll play our own stuff, go over Nova Blitz, what it is, how to play, have some times where we play that, maybe do a tournament there. But we'll be playing some of the stuff that our streamers are playing as well. So we'll, anybody who likes League of Legends, I played a long time ago myself. Not the first year, but like the second year I got into it and played for about 3 years, was super addicted and hooked on it. Have jumped back in recently just to check it out, and it's totally different. But I still remember just being super excited about that game. So I'm excited to jump back into that. Some of the guys we haven't played it yet. They're going to get into it. And any of you who haven't played it, that's another cool game. Check that out if you want. If you're a pro at it, you can come in and play against some of the pros we might bring in. We're excited to since we're an esports platform, we're going to be doing stuff that's about esports. And that could come in many different ways. It can be other personalities who maybe are real professionals who want to get into games and they'll have NFT. I mean, it could be all sorts of stuff. There's a lot of opportunity here, and a lot of that's going to come down to who decides to use the portal. Where we're not going to pigeonhole this into, only these two types of people can use it or whatever. So it's really just the promise of creating this digital stuff, whether it be digital artwork or digital, avatars or characters or skins or whatever. There's a lot of things that we can do with this that would be player owned. So I've already been talking a lot about this, I think, about the fact that we're going to be coming out pretty shortly with the NFT Foundry, the Game Foundry. And it's an NFT mint that basically it's a simple way through our web app on the site that people will be able to create NFTs, to enter in the metadata that's required for what that NFT is going to be, have a URL that links to various different types of artwork, supported artwork, and mints that card on the network. This we are gamifying as well. We are going to have some options. I won't go into more of that than what I just said today because we want to save that for another day, another surprise. But we're going to have some fun ways of creating these NFTs. We'll have the typical scarcity, create a rare, create uncommons, that sort of thing. But there's some other fun stuff that we want to introduce to make it fun to collect as well. So, yeah, if you have any questions there before I move on, we can save those for the end or do it now. It's up to you. I haven't gone over the exchange a whole lot now. So the way this platform is going to work, as I mentioned before, we have RESTful APIs. Those RESTful APIs can be used not only by us for our own exchange, but by third parties. And so that means that somebody else, whether it's one of the developers, one of the personalities, or just one of you guys who really loves one of these games or a slew of these games or whatever it is, to create your own website, or this can be done within your own game or your own app, call out to those RESTful APIs, which will utilize the smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain without you having to code or do any of that yourself. And that will allow you to create your own exchange of the NFTs that are created here. And that will come with, and you'll get something for that. So when an NFT is minted, there's 3, potentially more, we'll go into that at another time, but you have the person who minted the card, whether it's a game developer or a personality. You have the platform itself, which is the group basically running the RESTful APIs and on the end, the owners of that. And then the market host is the person, that third party platform who's hosting the market itself outside of our own market. And when that NFT moves through the second market, you post your NFT up for sale and you say, okay, I want 500 game for this, and somebody buys it, and then there's a 2% fee or whatever that is. And so 10 game, basically the person who sells it for 500, they get 495 game, and then that 5 game is just gonna get split up between the developer, the platform, and that market host. There'll be a fee there, delivered there. And so what that will do is continue to create some small amount of residual monetization for these developers and personalities. But that's a good thing in that incentivizes them to gift them out. Because if they give them out to people and then those people are trading them, there's another way for them to monetize that beyond just selling it. Now, they could sell it, but it gives another option for some monetization from developers. Because at the end of the day, it is not free to make a game. It is expensive to make a game. And so we're just providing some freedom in how you can monetize this stuff. And, again, it creates different incentivization for interacting with the developer in different ways. And, and the cool thing about an NFT, given that you own it and it's on this blockchain, you don't necessarily only have to use it with that person who created it. And what I mean by that is, so let's say we went back to BTC Daddy. He plays League of Legends, and he creates his slew of NFTs that he sells, and so one of those NFTs is like an avatar of him or something like that. And for now, maybe all that is a collectible. It's something that that looks cool, that you're holding on to, that's rare. There's only a certain number of them, and you want to hold one of them. That's a lot of what NFTs are right now. But in the future, there could be 1 game, 2 games, 5 games, who knows? Or it doesn't even have to be a game. You could have a game that recognizes that NFT and says, okay, we're going to create an avatar. If you have that NFT from BTC Daddy, you can use the BTC Daddy character in this game, and only those people that have it can do that. Or if you go into Decentraland or the Sandbox, one of these metaverses. We're huge on the metaverse too, by the way. I would love to nerd out on that. We love the idea of what NFTs bring to the metaverse as well, so we have a big push there. But anyways, I digress. That same NFT that you're playing in this game over here, Decentraland can say, hey, we're gonna let you, if you have this BTC Daddy jersey card that worked in this game over there, we also could recognize that as a jersey in Decentraland. So that's not all going to work like that day one, but the way the technology works, the way the blockchain works, and smart contracts and the RESTful APIs, and is we definitely have a vision of interoperability with a lot of different technologies, and so we're just excited about where our future is going to go. Not just game itself, but the future of blockchain, the future of the metaverses, the future of video games using NFTs, the future of, just all of this stuff is really cool. So, anyways, the platform is just a way to exchange all of those NFTs, and so just like, if you go to Bittrex, and every time you make a trade, they take their little cut, because that's that's their way of monetizing, right? That's how they pay for all the things that they do. That's how this platform is one of the ways this platform will be monetized. But it will not just reward the platform; it will reward the creators, the hosts as well. So obviously, our focus being in esports, one of the things that we want to that we're going to be creating, and that'll be phase 2. So we're going to get this NFT mint out the door, get the market working, get all that stuff working, and then eventually really focus in on some of the cool stuff we want to do for esports, which is creating a way for people to enter into tournaments, make the tournaments on their own. So it'll be something where you could go to a site, you could set up the tournament, you could allow people access. You decide what you want the entry fee to be. You decide what you want the payout and prizes to be. Do you want that to be game? Do you want that to be loyalty tokens? Do you want that to be packs of cards? Or cards themselves, or items, or collectibles, or whatever it is? But additional functionality on this platform to gamify further all of this stuff, and obviously things like gambling and stuff like that, right? Like those are things we continue to investigate, and there may be certain features that are only available in certain territories and stuff like that. But that just comes with the territory here, and especially these early days of regulation still in crypto and all that. But we're super excited about the prospect of allowing games to have an integrated tournament system, so people can create a tournament integrated with that game. We're going to have, there's provably fair random number generation, so that when, you flip a coin, it's done on the blockchain. So you can verify on the blockchain, it's transparent that is, that there was no cheating involved and stuff like that. So, that's our esports system that will be rolling into early next year, or end of this year. So that's it. That's it for the presentation. We have various social channels up here right now. I encourage you to join all of them, or the things that you like. We send out a lot of stuff on Twitter right now. We would love to grow our following on Instagram. That's a new channel there now. But if you use Instagram, please go search us down and follow us there as well. If you want to learn more about the team, you can just go straight to our website, go to the About. But and everybody's has their LinkedIn accounts up there as well. We're on Facebook, and a couple other things that you don't see up here as well. But Discord, definitely. We are really wanting to use Discord more and more. We use it more and more for our internal team discussions as well. But we'll start to engage there as well. We do have a Telegram channel, but I will be honest, we are trying to phase that out. We're not big on Telegram as it relates to what we need for our gaming platform and the kind of traffic that gets in there. A lot of there's a lot of issues with scammers and people. I'm sure a lot of just we want to go to more game central places, and we think Discord is a more game central place. So I have a few questions that people asked on Twitter, so I'll go through some of those right now just to answer, so everybody has answers to that as well. There's so much to talk about. I'm sure there's plenty that I didn't talk about on the stream that I could. But let me see if anybody's asked anything in chat. I don't think so. Just some technical issues for a couple of people. So somebody had asked, can we create tokens for various purposes? And so I think, maybe what they mean is there's some new blockchains that come out, like with Ethereum, and then you can create an ERC20 token, right? And so you have all these tokens. So you will not be able to create fungible tokens. Those are all fungible tokens, which means, every token is the same, like a currency or something like that. We're all about the non-fungible token. And so obviously, based on what we just went over, yes, you will be able to create tokens for various purposes. And so I think I went over in detail what a lot of those use cases are. And again, if you have questions or I didn't make something clear, feel free to jump back over to Discord at a later time. If this is going to be recorded and posted, so if you're watching this later, go ahead and ask your questions, or ask it at the new AMA in a month, or not a month from now. We're gonna change when it is, and so then it'll be a month cadence from there. But the next one may be a little sooner than later. We'll see. We'll let you know there. We do have a question in chat. All right. Any development being done on Nova Blitz currently? New cards would be fun, but I feel like the Game Interest could desperately use an update. Yes, like I said earlier, it's back in our hands. So we're working on building out, a team, the people that we need to continue to move it forward. And so that search is still ongoing, but it's definitely there and something that we're working on every week. There's a prospect right now that I'll be talking to. I'm waiting on an answer on Friday. But yeah, our intent is first and foremost, first and foremost right now, we want to get it up on Google Play Store. We don't have that up on the Google Play Store, and we want to do that. And then we just need to do some revamping of what's up there on the Apple Store and stuff like that as well, where we're going to revamp the website. But obviously with the release of our actual NFT platform, a lot of our focus is on there, but we are starting to transition to do some additional work for Nova Blitz as well, because we need Nova Blitz, not just as a game for you guys to play. Our focus isn't on just making Nova Blitz to try to, make tons of money with it or whatever. Like it's a flagship product that will be a proof of concept, to integrate the NFTs that we create on our platform into Nova Blitz itself. And integrating our RESTful APIs and all that into Nova Blitz. But then not just stopping there. The initial set of Nova Blitz will be a combination of NFTs and then just cards that everybody has access to that aren't NFTs. And then it will eventually, I won't say much more than yes, we do want to create another set that is in our plans. I have no dates to promise there. We need to get our feet under us to kind of get the development rolling on this again, where it makes sense and with good timing based on everything else that is going on. But it is part of our project planning. We're trying to be pragmatic about everything that we do because we really want this all to be successful. And so that means not rushing anything or, and, making sure that we have our priorities set straight. And so, yeah, to answer your question, yes. You said you're going to work with Matic Network. Its primary market pair exchange is Binance. Does this mean a listing on Binance? I knew I was going to get exchange listing questions. Well, for one, I mean, as most of you are pretty know, even if it was, I'm not saying it is. We can't really announce all like exchanges that we're going to go on before we go on them. We are talking to some exchanges, but again, I'm not saying who. And at the end of the day, it's about doing something that makes sense for access to the project. So, and we're not about wasting tons of our money to get on an exchange sooner rather than later, just for the hype, and because we're not trying to just pump our coin for the sake of pump the coin. We will do it when it makes sense, when the product's ready. And really, the way that it's starting to work in the industry, and the way that big exchanges like Binance, like KuCoin, like a lot of these other exchanges, they've been burned. A lot of people have been burned, right? In the end of 2017 and beginning of 2018, and so they want projects that are legit working projects. So we're not going to go up on these exchanges as a legit working project just with our rewards portal. So that's, we're excited to be finally very soon launching our NFT mint. And once we have that, and then our exchange of our own, and these other exchanges see that we're an actual working product, and as we start to develop everything and start to have our presence at online and in conventions and more and more places, and we get more and more awareness, they're going to come to us and say, hey, do you want to come on our exchange? So that's how we think it needs to work. So yeah, that's the answer there, is a good product first, and then all of that stuff will follow. Now, that doesn't mean that we're not continuing to look, and that when good opportunities arise, we won't do it, particularly when it comes to a territory that we know is maybe very interested in game, but just doesn't have access. And they don't have access to Bittrex or BitBay. And so, maybe they're in another country who's all about games, all about esports, but they just can't, they don't have easy access to the token. So that we would make a priority to try to make that work for that reason. Not just simply to hype. We just, at least me, we have, there's people who are more focused on other things in the company for good reasons. Personally, I'm about the platform. That's my job. My job is design and product management of working with other designers and other project managers. It's a whole. It takes a team, and just all of us making sure that we're creating a product that that everybody's going to want to use. There we go. We got some questions coming in. Let's see. Will there be any splitting for GameCredits increasing its tokens, or will the token supply stay the same? So we have a max supply, just like most tokens do, and not all of that is in circulation. That is just that is entering circulation through our rewards portal. So, in the past, you could go buy a big computer and get your big graphics cards and validate for the Bitcoin network to get your Bitcoins, or do the same for Ethereum or whatever. And then proof of stake came along, where you can stake your tokens and you get your cut. So we're more along the lines of that. It's not a validation network; it is a rewards network. So it's more it's like yield farming. And as I mentioned before, unless you missed it, we're long term. We're about the delivery of the NFTs themselves. So games front loaded. More game is being delivered now. We're rewarding 100,000 game out in rewards every week. That will change in the next year or two, and go down a bit as more and more NFTs are out there being delivered and in the market. Yeah. So Time frame on the next release. I'm not going to give you any dates, but I will say that we have a lot of stuff that's in testing right now, and stuff's looking good. We're excited. So the best I can give you, which I know everybody hates to hear, is soon, very soon. Uh, but yeah, I mean we've said Q3, so it'll be Q3. Are you working on any videos that explain the platform or features? Yeah, actually, we want to do that, but we want to do it right, and we want it to be of quality. We have options for doing some stuff for very cheap that we looked into before, but it just wasn't the quality level that we wanted. And as we continue to get more and more people on the team, we're getting some nice qualitative eyes on the team. I don't know if you guys have looked at our team page recently, but we have a few new additions, and we're very excited about all of them. Brian's an art director. We have John, new marketing director, and a bunch of other people. We're excited about all of them and what they're going to help do for getting our name out there. Not only getting our name out there, but having quality marketing campaigns, marketing content, and platform content. There's the artists are obviously helping with that stuff as well. So, but a good video takes time and money, and I'll leave it at that. Yes, that is not something that we're leaving to the wayside. We do want to do that. It's just a matter of priorities, timing, and other things that we're working on. We have a lot that we're working on. I saw on your Twitter you acquired Satoshi Battles. Is that true? And what are the plans with that game, if so? That is a very recent acquisition. I was not actually involved in that acquisition myself. We have a whole separate team, BizDev, and they have acquired that. This will be another, which I think is great, in that it will be another way for us to have direct access to a finished game on the block with blockchain features for us to go in and repurpose and use with Game Credits platform. So just know that any game that we take on ourselves, that's likely going to be the reason, and what we want to do with it is, our primary goal isn't to be game publishers. I worked in the game publishing industry myself for just over 15 years, I think 17. I came from 2K Games, Sega of America, Electronic Arts, Sony of America. And so it's something we can do, but that's not our focus right now. Our focus is on the platform. But we still want these projects to be interesting and successful. So we'll do our best to efficiently have them serve as our test beds for our product, because we're going to need actual games to make this stuff work on as we continue to develop. So that's the primary purpose there, but at least for Nova Token, I know that's what our primary purpose is. Maybe ask the question again at the next AMA for Satoshi Battles, because that just happened. We're still working on transferring control of the website itself, but we have acquired that, yes. Are you looking for new streamers to get on board? And if yes, what are the requirements to join? So here's the thing. This is blockchain, which means there's an element of decentralization to it. And so if you're a streamer and you want to create NFTs for your streamers or whoever, you could come sign up as a streamer yourself. And we do have a vetting process, but we have professional streamers who have large followers who we have contacts with, who we're pulling in. Somebody who's working closely with us on the team. His name is Logan. He was a streamer himself. He was a professional Halo player, and he still likes to stream. But yes, we are open to bringing in other streamers beyond the ones that we're directly working with to jump on board right now. So if you are a streamer yourself and you're watching this, feel free to reach out in Discord or send an email to the info@GameCredits you see right here, and we'll see what we can do for you. We'll want to verify that it's legit. In that, there will be a period at which we'll have basically a verified content on our site, since we're hosting it on our site. And so we're going to vet who gets to put stuff up there a bit better, coming soon. But to answer your question, yes. All right. Let's see. So that's all the questions I have from the chat. I'm going to look over some notes I took from Twitter earlier on. I'd love to know what for you guys was your high that happened or still has to happen in 2020. The NFT, and so I've already spoke to it. I mean, for me, everything is going to come to a head, and it's really going to become real and exciting, and real things are going to start to happen, and things are going to be moving fast. When all of these people, not just the people who are not just putting themselves up on the reward portal, but when people can make NFTs, and when we can tell somebody to come to the rewards portal or just to the platform, somebody could come and make NFTs and deliver them in a different way if they wanted. They could just deliver them from their game or from their own website. We're all about in the end, it's all about the creation of that NFT. Like, that's what we're excited about. And so, more exciting will be when those actual NFTs are being used in games themselves for more than just collectibles early on. But that will be a moment that personally I'm excited about. I think a lot of people on the team are excited about. That'll be a big high. Obviously, it was exciting to be on the Nova Token team and to be introduced to a new group, some people in the community, from the Game Credit side, and to just all kind of come together and just have this awesome vision to execute on and try to make this stuff happen. Zach, one of the guys, he's been awesome to work with. He came from the Game Credit side. He was a community member. Awesome guy, hard worker. And so that's been exciting, obviously. But yeah, right now it's all about getting this NFT creator out. Somebody had a question about the supply, and I'll just mention it here. It's I don't know how important it is from the platform perspective, but it said that the supply jumped from 70 million, and he said to 200 million total supply. So the total supply of game credits before was higher than that. I think it was 85. And then the circulating supply was almost 70 when there was the merge. There is a max 200 million supply of game credits, but that will take, because just with all these other cryptocurrencies, because of the way it's being reintroduced, that supply is being reintroduced into the market through the rewards portal. It will take a very long time, years and years and years and years, right? Like, there's going to be a couple years for halving, and then a couple more years for another halving, and then so that's not all just going to be dumped on the market right now. So right now, I will say the algorithms at CoinMarketCap are saying the supply, I think right now they're saying it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 96 million, not too far off from the 70 from before. I think, if we were being honest and looking at access to supply, it's probably closer to 110, 120 million, somewhere around there. So yeah, just to be transparent there, that's what's going on. But that's how it's being introduced, is through the rewards portal. But again, that rewards portal in the long term, for this to have longevity, it's got to be more than just about that. And so it's about delivering those NFTs to you guys. Yeah, I think that's it. So I'm going to, for anybody who's still here, let's see. So Una NB, are you still here? UNINB. All right. Well, I'm gonna write it down anyways. If you're not. Although I need verification here. I would like to give out some game, just for fun right now, or later. But I want to thank you for participating. Thank you for asking your questions. Um, and a lot of these actually coming from Twitter, so I can't verify in here. Well, Gazdingo, are you still in here? No. Okay. All right. I'll do what I can. I want to verify it's you, but I want to get out some game. Hey, there you go. Oh, we'll see. Hopefully, you guys have some of the same names in Discord. If you're in Discord, jump in there. You know, we have a tip bot in there, so it's a fun way for people to tip each other for game, with game, and other currencies too if they want. All right, and Terdy, T3RDYY. All right, we'll get this figured out. I can scroll through this. Devin, Raf. Okay. Okay. All right. We'll leave it there. So I know it's long. As I said, it's recorded, so anybody who missed it, or if you missed the beginning, you can come back and watch it later. I would like to thank everybody for joining us. I hope it was informative, and I hope to see you next time. So I guess this is, my name's Josh, and I'm signing out. Thank you, everybody.